I suppose I do kind of want us to get to the main quest before we stop recording, because I
It
want
looks
to
like
talk
the
about
receiver is still messed
The
up.
moon is a mysterious mistress.
I want to talk about
The Lucky
endings
Star
and
Motel.
Sabat
Room
and
2. Don't
stuff.
be long.
Yeah, what were you saying again?
I kind of want us to get to the next part of the main quest because I want to talk about the Sabat and endings when we get to Andre.
Alright, well that won't be too long now. Assuming
So,
that I
are
don't
we
go
going
back
to-
to side quests.
Who are we siding with? Assuming we actually side with anybody.
I'm presuming because we're a Tremere, we're going to side with Strauss.
Because I would be in favor of going the wild card route.
Don't spoil it, and yeah, definitely Strauss. Strauss is a cool dude. I sided with him even when I wasn't playing a Tremere.
Come on, let's do wild card. You guys are no fun paragons.
I actually do wildcard almost every time I play this game.
That's because doing wild card is the only smart choice.
What is the point of wildcard? It gets you nothing. Okay, so anyways, we came to the apartment that the dude told us on the phone, and it is basically trashed, and there is blood everywhere, and, you know, suspiciously long handprints.
I'm guessing someone was murdered.
Really? You don't say. But anyhow, we also got something called labeled Internet Cafe Key, which seems to suggest a destination. Why is the pool not filled? Lame.
I'm sure the killer was probably a vampire. Ace
Yes.
detective.
No.
Definitely explain the pool, yes. Seriously, why isn't the pool filled, though? I mean, there's a filled pool over at the Giovanni's place, so it's not like they couldn't have had it. Whatever. I guess it's just a crappy motel.
Maybe they just didn't care.
The empty pool is a metaphor for the economic state of the world.
Shame on you.
I can't even take that seriously.
Hey, dude. Have a chair.
You're being rather charitable with that, aren't you?
Yes, I am. That's good. Hey, what are you looking at?
The weirdo putting chairs on people's heads.
She's chairman of the board.
Yeah, that glare deserves a chair. So anyways, that lets us into here. Ah! Crap. So we are being attacked by those head foot things. And it's kind of a shame you can't just wait them out.
Are we in a smut film now?
We are in a film studio. Which is apparently pretty seriously.
So what are these creatures actually? Like, what are they made from?
Flesh.
We actually get a chance to ask the guy that made them later on in this quest.
Okay, so I'll wait then.
I really should have filled up.
I will mention something that doesn't come up in this game, but there is a technical name for these creatures, and it is Szlachta, or something like that. It's in Polish, and I cannot pronounce it correctly. But it is the name Shimichi give to their war ghouls. They don't always look like that. That's just the way this particular guy makes his.
Difficulty of 10. You ain't picking that.
Yeah, the invasion of Tamisi war ghouls couldn't have happened to nicer people.
You actually get a... And maybe not with your 10 humanity, but you do get a chance to point that out to this guy.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't make that. Some of it, yeah, it was bad. Please, just...
I wanted to kill that guy. Damn it. Kill stealer.
See the way he jumped up in the air after he died?
I think we're used to the broken ragdolls by now.
It's making it less funny.
I will take a moment to mention that we're not supposed to be skipping through dialogue for the virtue of our
Didn't
viewers.
someone yell at you for that, etc.?
Yeah, whatever. I don't want to listen to what that guy's got to say anyways.
So you can actually open this door from the inside even though you couldn't pick it.
That's fairly typical with doors.
So now I gotta take this smut tape to Isaac.
You keep saying smut. What you mean to say is snuff.
Yeah.
They're not the same thing.
I'm sure someone gets off
God.
this. I'm sure someone gets off to it, else it wouldn't be made. You take the thing and you give it to the person. I know how this works as an RPG. Person asks for stuff. You do 10,000 things to get stuff, and then they give you a weak reward for it.
And it looks like that cleared out the house down here.
Yeah, gee, big surprise. Murderous monsters start running around and people are not there when you get back.
They actually weren't in this
Can
room.
we have some corpses there, though, at the very least?
Well, if they got killed, maybe.
I assume they fled when they heard
Oh, yeah. Right.
it. Yeah, so now we got Isaac's tape.
Won't he be so proud?
I know that when I cross the street, the very first thing I do is jump.
Jump, jump.
Then I jump again.
Tra-la-la. Wrong alley.
So realistic.
He's a merry vampire, skipping his way across town.
More likely he's punch drunk because he has so little blood in his body.
Any luck? Then this is
Yeah,
no
you really
doubt
do
the
need some
work of
blood.
the fiend. Hand me the tape. There might be something on it that will give us some insight into what its motives are.
So, brief thing to mention, since there's no dialogue to talk over now. When Isaac says, then it is no likely the work of a fiend, he's not just throwing around random insults. Fiend is actually the nickname for the Shimichi that all other clans call him.
Ah. And the Shimichi are a clan that has what abilities and weaknesses?
The Shimichi are the clan that have the flesh crafting discipline that makes these things.
Ah.
What is with the production on this video? It's got dolly shots, and it's got cuts, and I mean... Did Andre get a camera crew in for this, or what?
Death Mass Productions. So Corvo made this.
The house in the tape. I know it. It's in the hills. King's Way, if I'm not mistaken. My guess is that the fiend that made this tape is using these creatures to hound the Nosferatu, which would explain their sudden absence. They're trapped. Well, it's unfortunate that the prince needs you to see the Nosferatu.
They're not actually very
because
trapped.
it looks like
They've
this
got another
fiend
way
knows how
out.
to get at them, and I doubt he's going to draw a map for you. Looks like King's Way is your only way in, unfortunately. I can have a car. If I may give you one final word of warning, do not trust LaCroix. Do not play the damned politics of the Camarilla. This city hasn't needed them in a long time. and won't ever.
So literally nobody in this game likes LaCroix.
That's for you to decide. I only know who you can't trust.
LaCroix does. I think the sheriff kind of does, but he might just be bloodbound.
That is actually one of the central issues. Pretty much nobody wanted to be Prince of LA because it's not a particularly good position to be in.
It's got a long anarch history, and Hollywood is still proudly anarch, so...
Right, it's also overrun by Quaijin, and the fact that the Quaijin are here is the only reason why the Camarilla even can get a foothold.
And LA is so very well known.
And there's a significant Sabbat presence as well. The Prince of LA is not in a particularly powerful position, unlike most other princes. So the person who gets to be Prince of LA is unlikely to be particularly powerful, because it basically means he couldn't get out of it.
So we have Ponce LaCroix, thank God.
Princes can't
Pretty
advocate?
much. I mean, if he manages to succeed, he would get a significant amount of prestige and power. Which means a young, ambitious vampire with really very little to lose would have a lot to gain from being prince.
Young being a relative term in this case.
Well, yes. I mean, LaCroix is probably 9th generation at best.
Where to?
I was not under the impression that the Camarilla habitually made 9th generation princes.
They don't put 9th generation princes in charge of important cities. They might very well put a 9th generation prince in charge of a city they're not sure they're going to be able to hold, and thus when
very
they lose
highly contested. This is still contested territory, is what you're saying.
Right, and so if they lose it, they can blame the young punk who was not up to the task, rather than any kind of Camarilla operational failure.
Why is it not letting me drink this?
I don't know.
Perhaps it's something to do with your patch or something.
Oh, it's you again.
Oh my God, her again?
And I'm
what if
sticking
she
my
has, like,
head
what if she
through
has,
the
like,
back of her
50
neck.
What if she has like 50 sisters that all like come to this alley?
They'd also have to share that dress. It's a pretty distinctive dress.
They're like Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy. They all dress the exact same and they all look the exact same.
I'm actually trying to think if that model is actually used anywhere else, and I don't think it is.